let's turn to Alaska, where the stage is set for a summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin to do a deal over Ukraine. Here's what Donald Trump had to say a little while ago.
I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined now from Anchorage, Alaska, by New York Post White House correspondent Diana Nerozzi, who's covering the meeting. Diana, what is the latest here? It seems like Putin's people seem to be putting out the message that they're optimistic about what's going to come out of this meeting. What are we expecting? And to be quite frank, people are saying that Trump is going to get played here. What do you reckon?
Well, they're meeting tomorrow, and it's the first time that they've met since 2019. So, of course, everyone is waiting with bated breath to see what they will talk about, what the results will be. And you're right, the Russians have been saying that they're optimistic, and a lot of the Kremlin aides have been saying that they want to bring up other topics on top of Ukraine, including economic deals with the U.S. and other topics of U.S.-Russia cooperation. So for them, they see this as a big opportunity to get friendly with Trump again. But Trump said today that he sees a 75% chance of success with these talks and a 25% chance of failure. And he's also said that there will have to be additional talks with Zelensky included, because a deal just between Putin and Trump will be, not a complete deal.
So what does it look like? What does success here look like? If they have this meeting, it goes well, and then they have a second meeting. Does that involve then Ukraine giving up some of the territory that Russia has taken back through its invasion? And will the world go for that and accept new borders if it brings an end to the killing?
According to reports, that's what Trump, Zelensky, and the European leaders had been talking about just a few days ago. And even Zelensky has made indications that he would be okay with giving up some land. Crimea, Donbass, and Luhansk that have been occupied by Russia for years. Zelensky has indicated, again, there will have to be discussions. And Zelensky really wants security guarantees on top of that as well. If he does give up land, he wants guarantees from the West that Russia won't invade again. So there will have to be conversations. Zelensky will have to come to the table as well, a trilateral meeting, or just between Zelensky and Putin. And we will have to see when that takes place. And Trump has also said that that will only happen if Putin is friendly and shows that he wants peace in this meeting in Anchorage tomorrow.
Would NATO membership be on the table for Ukraine as part of those peace guarantees, do you think?
Of course, Zelensky would love that, and he's been saying that he would either want NATO or nuclear weapons, but I think that NATO is completely off the table. I mean, every single country would have to agree, and Trump has said basically that it's not an option.
Yeah. I mean, and Ukraine, of course, gave up its nuclear weapons famously, which I suppose is a great lesson for a lot of the rest of us in the world. But tell me this here. Why is there so much panic in the media? And you see this, and you would see this with the press pack you're traveling with around this summit. Because, I'm old enough to remember through the height of the Cold War, U.S. presidents and Soviet premiers met regularly. But now to hear some people say it, even this mere sense of communication between the two men is somehow some great show of weakness, and it could be a disaster for the West.
I mean, I think we will have to see what the results are tomorrow. And I think the panic comes from just Putin's history of invading other countries and not being completely straightforward and truthful with Trump. They've had several phone conversations, and Putin promises and promises. And of course, as Trump says, the next day there's missiles. And with the Russians saying they want to talk about additional topics other than Ukraine, it does seem like the Russians have their own agenda, and it'll be up to Trump to kind of tamp that down and focus on what's important.
Yeah, well, finally then, how much of the concern, I guess, stems from the hangover of we now know the bogus Russiagate investigation, which started back in 2016, the Hillary Clinton plot to portray Trump as a Russian agent. Does the hangover from that almost 10 years later, does that affect Trump's ability to conduct foreign policy with Russia today at this meeting?
I think that if anything, it gives him a more positive view on Russia. As he says frequently, Putin was in the Russia hoax with him. He was there for Russia, Russia, Russia. So I think that's part of the concern. Will Trump be more friendly towards Putin because they share that history? And hopefully, of course, Trump will go in there with a calm mind and assess the facts and come out the other side and, and establish peace. We'll just have to see.
Well, Diana, stay safe up there in Alaska, and we'll look forward to reading about and hearing about what happens there. Thanks so much for your time.